and resume a duty that I am morally and obligated to perform. With that, Mr. President, I move to nominate the position of Senate President pro tempore, Senator or the Honorable Vicente Soto III. I so move, Mr. Chairman. Mr. President. Thank you.
Thank you. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. And just to give a short manifestation, Mr. President, I'd like to have the privilege to second the nomination of Senator Vicente C. Soto III as a Senate President pro temp. I was his majority leader in all 3 times he was elected as Senate President. It was an honor for me to be his majority leader. He used to call me Major as the major in the plenary. But I can say from experience that he's second to none when it comes to knowledge of our institutional rules, traditions, and processes. He's what we need in the Senate leadership today. Someone who will protect the stability of the Senate and uphold the rules that give this institution shape and direction. Therefore, I would like to second the nomination of Vicente C. Soto III as our Senate President pro temp. Mr. President, there being no other nominations, I therefore move that we close the period of nomination and proceed with acclamation.
We therefore close the period of nominations and proceed to the voting for the Senate President pro tempore. Those who are in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those who are not in favor say nay. The ayes have it. Congratulations to our new Senate President pro tempore, Senator Tito Soto.
May we proceed, Mr. President, with the oath taking of the Senate President pro tempore. Sabi daw pang retirement position yung Senate President. You want us to be behind you, sir?
Ito pala.
Ayan pala.
Congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
Sorry, dito na kami dumaan, sir.
Si Cheese.
Ito ka, cheese.
Sa kabila. Sa kabila. Para mas maganda.
Yan.
Sa tabi ko. Mamaya, ako na mag-isa eh.
Okay.
Oath of office, please repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Vicente Soto III,
Having been elected Senate President pro tempore,
having been elected the position of Senate President pro tempore,
do hereby solemnly swear
do hereby solemnly swear
that I will well and faithfully discharge,
that I will well and faithfully
to
discharge
the best of my abilities,
to the best of my
the
abilities
duties of my present position,
the duties of my present position
and of all others I may hereafter
and
hold,
of all others I may hereafter hold
under the Republic of the Philippines,
under the Republic of the Philippines,
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the Philippines,
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the Philippines,
that I will obey the laws, legal orders, and decrees
that I will obey the laws, legal orders, and decrees
promulgated by the duly constituted authorities,
promulgated by the duly constituted authorities,
and maintain true faith and allegiance
and maintain true faith and allegiance
to the Republic of the Philippines,
to the Republic of the Philippines,
and that I impose this obligation upon myself voluntarily,
and that I impose this obligation upon myself voluntarily,
without mental reservation
without mental reservation
or purpose of evasion.
or purpose of evasion.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Congratulations.
JB, sama ka naman dito. Joel din, dating manjo.
Hindi, off lang.
Mr. President, if I may be able to take my oath as well as Majority Leader, although I have been elected as the Chairman of the Rules Committee, but I was not able to take my oath the last June 3 meeting.
Yes, we will administer the oath to
Thank you very much,
the
Mr.
majority leader.
Ito yung isang Congress na pang-apat na yung Senate President.
Oath of office. Please repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Juan Miguel Zubiri,
Having been elected to the position of chairperson of the Committee on Rules,
having been elected to the position of Chairperson of the Committee on Rules,
do hereby solemnly swear
do hereby solemnly swear
that I will well and faithfully discharge,
that I will well and faithfully discharge,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my
the
ability,
duties of my present position
the duties of my present position,
and of all others I may hereafter hold
and of all others that I may hereafter hold,
under the Republic of the Philippines,
under the Republic of the Philippines,
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the Philippines,
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the Philippines,
that I will obey the laws, legal orders, and decrees
that I will obey the laws, legal orders, and decrees
promulgated by the duly constituted authorities,
promulgated by the duly constituted authorities,
and remain true faith and allegiance to the Republic of the Philippines,
and remain true faith and allegiance to the Republic of the
and
Philippines,
that I impose this obligation upon myself voluntarily,
and that I impose this obligation upon myself voluntarily,
without mental reservation
without mental
or
reservation
purpose of evasion.
or purpose of evasion.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, sir.
Election ng committee, chairperson? Election ng committee chairperson.
Yes. Oh, I have. Do you have the list? I don't have it.
Majority Leader.
Yes, Mr. President, we're about to elect the members of the different committees so that we can buckle down to work, Mr.
Correct.
President. But I need just a 1 minute suspension to get the list from the staff.
1 minute suspension.
Mr. President, while our secretariat is still printing out the names of the other members of the committees, I'd just like to put on record the chairpersons of some of the committees have already been elected in June 3, 2026. To complete the committee chairmanships and memberships, I now move to elect the following senators as chairpersons and members of the following committees. If I may, Mr. President.
Go ahead, Majority Leader.
Mr. President, I move for the constitution of the Committee on Accountability and Public Officers and Investigations, or the Blue Ribbon Committee, to be composed of 17 regular members and 3 ex officio members, reflecting an 11-9 majority-minority ratio. With the chairperson being elected, which is Senator Erwin Tulfo, and with 3 ex officio members taken into account, I move that all majority members, with the exception of one, which is Senator Chis Escudero, he requested to be the one, not as a member of the committee, be elected as members of the said committee. I further move that all remaining senators who are currently in active discharge of their senatorial functions and who are not otherwise designated as ex officio members be elected as regular members, subject to the prescribed membership limit under the rules. So moved, Mr. President.
Is there any objection? Hearing none, the motion is approved.
Yes, just to explain to the public that's listening, all members, actually 17 members po ang membership ng Committee on Accountability and
That's 3.
Public Officers and Investigations, the Blue Ribbon Committee. Ibig po sabihin yan, 17 members plus yung ex officio members, which is the Senate President Pro Temp, the Majority Leader, the deputies, the 2 Deputy Majority Leaders, the Minority Leader, and also the Deputy Minority Leader. So halos lahat po, sa lahat na nakikinig po sa atin na yung araw na ito, halos lahat ng members ng Senado, except for one, ay magiging membro ng Blue Ribbon. So we just move today, Mr. President, to state that fact and put on the record.
So noted.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. And upon the instruction of the chairperson, Senator Erwin Tulfo, I manifest the designation of Senator Kiko Pangilinan as vice chairperson of the said committee.
Is there any objection? Hearing none, manifestation is noted.
Mr. President, I'd like to also move on the election of members of the Committee on Social Justice on the part of the majority. The chairperson is Senator Erwin Tulfo. The vice chairperson is Senator Risa Ontiveros. And the members are Senator Kiko Pangilinan, Senator Manuel Lito Lapid, and Senator Raffy Tulfo.
Is there any objection? Hearing none, the motion is approved.
Mr. President, I move to elect the members of the Committee on Energy. The chairperson being Senator Erwin Tulfo, Vice Chairperson Senator J.V. Ejercito, members Senator Risa Ontiveros, Senator Bam Aquino, Senator Lito Lapid, and Senator Raffy Tulfo. We still need 2 members of the majority. I'll wait for the chairperson to give me the names of the 2 additional members. I so move, Mr. President.
Is there any objection? Hearing none, the motion is approved.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I move that we elect the members of the Committee on Trade, Commerce, and Entrepreneurship. As chairperson, Senator Bam Aquino, and as members, Senator J.V. Ejercito, Senator Chis Escudero, Senator Manuel Lito Lapid, Senator Kiko Pangilinan, and Senator Raffy Tulfo.
Is there any objection? Hearing none, the motion is approved.
Mr. President, I move that we elect the members of the Committee on Constitutional Amendments and Revision of Codes. The chairperson being Senator Francis Kiko Pangilinan, and members Senators Risa Ontiveros, Senator Ping Lacson, Senator J.V. Ejercito, Senator Bam Aquino, Senator Lito Lapid, and Senator Chis Escudero. I so move.
Is there any objection? Hearing none, the motion is approved.
May I ask for a minute suspension, Mr. President?
1 minute suspension.
elect also the members of the Committee on Agriculture, Food and Agrarian Reform. The chairperson being Senator Francis Kiko Pangilinan, the vice chairperson being Senator J.V. Ejercito, members Senator Risa Ontiveros, Senator Bam Aquino, Senator Lito Lapid, Senator Erwin Tulfo, Senator Rafi Tulfo, Senator Chis Escudero, and Senator Joel Villanueva. I so move.
Is there any objection? Hearing none, the motion is approved.
Mr. President, I move that we elect also the members of the Committee on Basic Education, the chairperson being Senator Bam Aquino, members Senator J.V. Ejercito, Senator Risa Ontiveros, Senator Lito Lapid, Senator Kiko Pangilinan, Senator Rafi Tulfo, Senator Erwin Tulfo, and Senator Joel Villanueva. I so move.
Is there any objection? Hearing none, the motion is approved.
And Mr. President, I also like to move to the Commission on Appointments. We'd like to elect Senators Panfilo Lacson, Senator Mig Zubiri, Senator Joel Villanueva, Senator Risa Hontiveros, Senator Tito Soto, Senator Rafi Tulfo, and Senator J.V. Ejercito as members of the Commission on Appointments.
Is there any objection? Hearing none, the aforementioned senators are hereby elected.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to also move to elect Senators Bam Aquino, Senators Kiko Pangilinan, Senator Lapid, and Senator Escudero as members of the Senate Electoral Tribunal.
Is there any objection? Hearing none, the aforementioned senators are hereby elected.
Thank you, Mr. President. May I just ask for another minute suspension?
1 minute suspension.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, the same situation is on the Committee on Foreign Relations, where there are 17 members of the Senate who are members of this committee. I move, and me being the chairperson, Mr. President, that was elected last June 3, that I have attained the position as chairperson of the Committee on Foreign Relations, and that all members be made as members of the foreign relations, except for one on our part, Mr. President, with the permission of Senator Lito Lapid.
Does the committee have 17 members as well?
Yes. So the same
So
situation.
same
as the Blue
situation
Ribbon.
as Blue Ribbon?
Yes, Mr.
All right.
President. So we elect all members except for Senator Lapid as member of the chair Committee on Foreign Relations. So moved, Mr. President.
Is there any objection? Hearing none, the motion is approved.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, also for the Committee on Science and Technology, I move that we elect the members, the chairperson being Senator Bam Aquino, the members being Senator J.V. Ercito, Senator Kiko Pangilinan, and Senator Risa Ontiveros. I so move, Mr. President.
Is there any objection? Hearing none, the motion is approved.
Mr. President, I'd like to also move to elect the members of the Committee on Justice. The chairperson being Senator Francis Kiko Pangilinan, Vice Chairperson Senator Ping Lacson, and members Senator Risa Ontiveros, Senator Bam Aquino, and Senator Joel Villanueva.
Is there any objection? Hearing none, motion is approved.
And also like to designate, for the record, Senator Ping Lacson as one of the Vice Chairpersons of the Blue Ribbon Committee. I forgot to mention earlier.
So noted.
May I ask for a minute suspension, Mr. President?
1 minute suspension.
to also manifest for the record that in the Committee on Justice, the chairperson is automatically the member of the JBC.
Yes.
Which is Senator Francis Kiko Pangilinan.
Correct.
For the
Senator
record, Mr. President.
Pangilinan will represent the Senate in the JBC.
Mr. President, I move that we elect also members of the Committee on Rules. Mr. President, I move that we elect Senator J.V. Ercito, Senator Ping Lacson, Senator Kiko Pangilinan, Senator Erwin Tulfo, and Senator Joel Villanueva as members of the Rules Committee. Mr.
Is
President.
there any objection? Hearing none, the motion is approved.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, we'd like to also elect the members of the Committee on Health and Demography, Mr. President. For the record, the chairperson is Senator Risa Ontiveros, Vice Chairperson Senator J.V. Ejercito, and the members, part of the majority, Senators Bam Aquino, Senators Kiko Pangilinan, Senators Raffy Tulfo, Senator Erwin Tulfo, and Senator Ping Lacson. I so
Is there any objection? Hearing none, motion is approved.
Mr. President, we'd like to also move to elect the members of the Committee on Energy. The part of the chairperson is Senator Erwin Tulfo, the vice chairperson is Senator J.V. Ejercito, and the members are Senator Risa Ontiveros, Senator Bam Aquino, Senator Ping Lacson, Senator Raffy Tulfo. I so move, Mr. President.
Is there any objection? Hearing none, motion is approved.
Mr. President, we'd like to also put on record the members of the Committee on Finance, Mr. President. Of course, the Committee on Finance is headed by the chairperson, Senator J.V. Ejercito. And with respect to the committee, each committee is composed of 20 members. So I move that all senators, with the exception of the Senate President and those serving in an ex officio capacity, be elected and designated as regular members of both committees. I so move, Mr. President.
Is there any objection? Hearing none, the motion is approved.
Mr. President, I'd like to also elect the members of the National Defense, Security and Peace and Unification and Reconciliation Committee, Mr. President. The chairperson is Senator Tito Soto, our Senate President pro tempore. And same with the Finance Committee. There are 20 members. So I move that all senators, with the exception of the Senate President and those serving in an ex officio capacity, be elected and designated as members of the National Defense Committee. I so move, Mr. President.
Is there any objection? Hearing none, motion is approved.
There's a request of course, there's a request by our chairperson that Senator Ejercito, J.V. Ejercito, and Senator Lacson be elected as the vice chairperson of the said committee.
So noted.
Mr. President, I move that we elect the members of the Women and Children Committee, Committee on Women and Children. The chairperson, of course, is Senator Risa Ontiveros. The vice chairperson is Senator J.V. Ejercito. And Senator Bam Aquino, Senators Kiko Pangilinan, Senator Erwin Tulfo, and Senator Ping Lacson. I so move, Mr.
Is
President.
there any objection? Hearing none, motion is approved.
Mr. President, I move to elect the following members as the members of the Committee on Ways and Means. This chairperson is Senator Bam Aquino, and the members are Senator Pia Ontiveros, Senator Kiko Pangilinan, Senator Chis Escudero, Senator Erwin Tulfo, Senator Raffy Tulfo, and Senator Joel, what did I say? Risa Ontiveros. What did I say? Ay, nako, wala pa si Pia, hindi pa siya senator. Senator Pia. Okay, my apologies, Mr. President. My apologies. The chairperson of the Ways and Means Committee is Senator Ping Lacson, Mr. President. And vice chair will be Senator Bam Aquino, Senator Risa Ontiveros, Senator Kiko Pangilinan, Senator Francis Escudero, Senator Erwin Tulfo, Senator Raffy Tulfo, and Senator Joel Villanueva. So moved.
Is there any objection? Hearing none, motion is carried.
May I ask for another minute suspension?
Session suspended.
President, I move that we elect the members of the Committee on Games and Amusements. The chairperson, of course, is Senator Lito Lapid. The vice chair is Senator Rafi Tulfo. The members are Senator Chis Escudero, Senator Panfilo Lacson, Senator Erwin Tulfo, and Senator Joel Villanueva. So moved.
Is there any objection? Hearing none, motion is approved.
Mr. President, I move that we elect the members of the Committee on Ethics and Privileges. The chairperson being Senate President Pro Tem Tito Soto, Vice Chairperson Senator Pangilinan, members Senator Rafi Tulfo, and Senator Lacson.
Is there any objection? Hearing none, motion is approved.
I move that we elect members of the Committee on Public Services, Mr. President. The chairperson is Senator Rafi Tulfo. The vice chairperson, Senator J.V. Ejercito, and vice chairperson, Senator Bam Aquino. Members, Senator Lito Lapid, Senator Risa Ontiveros, Senator Kiko Pangilinan, Senator Erwin Tulfo. I so move, Mr. President.
Is there any objection? Hearing none, motion is approved.
Mr. President, I move that we elect the members of the Committee on Local Government. It is headed by their chairperson, Senator J.V. Ejercito, Vice Chairperson, Senator Ping Lacson, members, Senator Rafi Tulfo, Senator Francis Kiko Pangilinan, Senator Risa Ontiveros, Senator Joel Villanueva, Senator Lito Lapid, and Senator Bam Aquino. I so move.
Is there any objection? Hearing none, motion is approved.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I move that we elect the members of the Committee on Migrant Workers, headed by Senator Rafi Tulfo, Vice Chairperson Senator Joel Villanueva, members Senator Lito Lapid, Senator Erwin Tulfo, Senator Bam Aquino, Senator Risa Ontiveros, Senator J.V. Ejercito, and Senator Kiko Pangilinan. I so move.
Is there any objection? Hearing none, motion is approved.
May I ask for a minute suspension once again.
Session suspended.
very much, Mr. President. Mr. President, I'd like to ask my colleagues for a bit of patience because the lists were only given today and they're just verifying all the names na hindi magdodoble po tsaka hindi po tayo sumobra sa allotted
Number of
ratio
seats.
natin, Mr. President. So, and I'd just like to reiterate the election of the JBC representatives pursuant to Article 8, Section 8 of the Constitution. I move to elect Senator Francis Pangilinan as the Senate representative to the Judicial and Bar Council. Vice Sen. Rodante Marcoleta. I so move, Mr. President.
Is there any objection? Hearing none, Senator Francis Pangilinan is hereby elected to the JBC.
Mr. President, I move that we elect, or rather, I move that we retain Senator Joel Villanueva as chairperson of the Committee on Higher Education. And his vice chairman will be Senator Ejercito, members Senator Bam Aquino, Senator Kiko Pangilinan, Senator Raffy Tulfo, and Senator Escudero. I so move, Mr. President.
Is there any objection? Hearing none, motion is approved.
And I'd like to make a correction. In the Committee on Games, it's not Senator Raffy Tulfo who's the vice chairperson. It is Senator Erwin Tulfo.
So noted.
My apologies to the chairperson. As regards to the CA membership, Mr. President, for the record, that this representation and that of Senator Soto are vice. We replace Senators Lito Lapid and Senator Mark Villar respectively for the record, Mr. President.
Yeah. So noted.
Mr. President, we'd like to also elect the members of the Committee on Labor. Chairperson, Senator Joel Villanueva. Vice Chairperson, Senator J.V. Ejercito. And members, Senator Raffy Tulfo, Senator Erwin Tulfo, Senator Bam Aquino, Senator Risa Ontiveros, Senator Pangilinan, and Senator Escudero, Mr. President.
Is there any objection? Hearing none, motion is approved.
And Mr. President, I move to formally elect as well my deputy majority floor leaders. We'd like to elect and move to elect Senators J.V. Ejercito as my senior deputy majority leader, who one day in the near future will become the majority leader, I hope, after his job in the Finance Committee, and this representation will just retire. We'd like to also elect, Mr. President, our former majority leader, Senator Joel Villanueva, as deputy majority floor leader.
Is there any objection? Hearing none, motion is approved.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. May I ask for another minute suspension?
Session suspended.
President, may we request, while we're just awaiting for the names of the committee memberships of the other remaining committees, may we request our members and colleagues to come back to the floor so that we may proceed for a third reading vote. And then the adoption of the resolution on Mindanao that will be authored by Senator Joel Villanueva. So may we just ask our members to please proceed to the plenary for a third reading. Fine. Erwin and Senator Lito.
Okay.
Senator Erwin. So, Mr. President, I move that we consider on third reading several bills printed copies of which have been electronically distributed to the senators on May 25 and May 26, 2026, in compliance with the 3-day rule of the Constitution. With that, Mr. President, I move to consider a third reading Senate Bill number 2092. This is the bill declaring waling-waling as our national orchid, Mr. President. I so move.
Is there any objection? Hearing none, the consideration of Senate Bill number 2092 on third reading is in order. The Secretary is directed to read the title of the bill.
An act declaring the waling-waling Vanda sanderiana as the national orchid of the Philippines.
And proceed with the roll call vote.
Roll call vote. Senator Aquino, Senator Cayetano Alan, Senator Cayetano Pia, Senator De La Rosa, Senator Ejercito, Senator Escudero, Senator Estrada, Senator Go, Senator Ontiveros, Senator Lacson, Senator Lapid, Senator Legarda, Senator Marcoleta, Senator Marcos, Senator Padilla, Senator Pangilinan, Senator Soto, Senator Tulfo Erwin, Senator Tulfo Rafi, Senator Villanueva, Senator Villar Camil, Senator Villar Mark, Senator Zubiri,
Yes.
Senate President Gatchalian.
Yes. With 13 affirmative votes, 0 negative votes, 0 abstention, SB number 2092 is approved on third reading.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I move to consider third reading House Bill number 6639. This is the bill granting Philippine citizenship to Benny Boatwright III. I so move.
Is there any objection? Consideration of House Bill number 6639 on third reading is in order. The Secretary is
And
directed.
before we proceed with the voting, Mr. President, I would just like to put on record, they were here 3 days straight in the last, before we ended the session, and I think they're back onto training. So I think it's okay that we elect them in absentia because they deserve it, Mr. President. They were here 3 days before we ended session.
Correct. In fairness to them, they were here present
Yes,
physically
both-
for 3
both,
days.
members,
it's not
both,
their fault that their citizenship was not considered last time. And I understand that they're now undergoing training
Yes.
and representing the country.
Yes.
Senator Kiko Pangilinan is recognized.
That is correct, Mr. President. They were here, a sponsor of the measure. They were here every day and witnessed the proceedings or the lack of proceedings. But then we will make arrangements, Mr. President, that when we convene for the SONA, or perhaps that week of the SONA, that they come and visit us here in plenary, Mr. President. Both Benny Boatwright and Matt Ramos, Mr. President. For
We
the
take note of that.
So we move to
So,
proceed with the roll
yeah.
call vote, Mr. President.
The Secretary is directed to read the title of the bill and proceed with the roll call vote.
An act granting Philippine citizenship to Benny Francois Boatwright III. Roll call vote. The Honorable Senator Aquino, Senator Cayetano Alan, Senator Cayetano Pia, Senator De La Rosa, Senator Ejercito, Senator Escudero, Senator Estrada, Senator Go, Senator Tiveros, Senator Lacson, Senator Lapid, Senator Legarda, Senator Marcoleta, Senator Marcos, Senator Padilla, Senator Pangilinan, Senator Soto, Senator Tulfo Erwin, Senator Tulfo Rafi, Senator Villanueva, Senator Villar Camil, Senator Villar Mark, Senator Zubiri, Senate President Gatchalian.
With 13 affirmative votes, 0 negative votes, 0 abstentions, House Bill number 6639 is approved on third reading.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, move to consider as well for third reading vote House Bill number 6644, the bill granting Philippine citizenship to Matthew James Ramos. I so move, Mr. President.
Is there any objection? Hearing none, consideration of House Bill number 6644 on third reading is in order. The Secretary is directed to read the title of the bill and proceed with the roll call vote.
An act granting Philippine citizenship to Matthew James Ramos. Roll call vote. Senator Aquino, Senator Cayetano Alan, Senator Cayetano Pia, Senator De La Rosa, Senator Ejercito, Senator Escudero, Senator Estrada, Senator Go, Senator Ontiveros, Senator Lacson, Senator Lapid, Senator Legarda, Senator Marcoleta, Senator Marcos, Senator Padilla, Senator Pangilinan, Senator Soto, Senator Tulfo Erwin, Senator Tulfo Rafi, Senator Villanueva, Senator Villar Camil, Senator Villar Mark, Senator Zubiri, Senate President Gatchalian.
Yes. With 13 affirmative votes, 0 negative votes, 0 abstentions, House Bill number 6644 is approved on third reading.
Thank Thank you very much, Mr. President. Congratulations to the authors and sponsors of the three measures. Mr. President, I move that we dispense with the reading of the journals of the 68th and 69th session, May 26 and June 3, 2026, and consider the same as approved.
Is there any objection? Hearing none, the motion is approved.
Mr. President, now we take up a very important measure that our dear colleague, distinguished former majority leader, had filed. I move that we consider proposed Senate Resolution number 447, and this is a resolution urging adequate funding for Mindanao earthquake relief and rehabilitation. I so move, Mr. President.
Is there any objection? Hearing none, the motion is approved.
Mr. President, I move that we recognize a distinguished former majority floor leader, our deputy majority floor leader, no other than our distinguished colleague from Bulacan, Senator Joel Villanueva.
We recognize the distinguished gentleman from Bulacan.
Thank you very
Senator
much,
Villanueva.
Mr. President, our distinguished majority leader. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, it is an honor to rise before this august chamber to sponsor proposed Senate Resolution number 447, urging the national government to ensure adequate funding and resources for the relief, rehabilitation, reconstruction, and recovery of communities devastated by the recent earthquake in Mindanao. Ginoong Pangulo, ang usapin po natin ngayon ay hindi lamang tungkol sa pondo. Ito po ay tungkol sa mga buhay na winasak ng lindol at sa ating tungkulin na tulungan ang ating mga kababayan na muli pong makabangon. Noong pong 8 ng Hunyo, isang magnitude 7.8 na lindol ang tumama malapit sa Sarangani Province. Sa loob lamang po ng ilang minuto, nagbago ang buhay ng daang-daang libong Pilipino. As of June 16, at least 68 lives have been lost. More than 1,000 have been injured, and over 30 remain missing. Mahigit 1 milyong individual o higit 330,000 families ang naapektuhan, habang halos 19,000 pa rin ang nananatili sa evacuation centers. Ngunit higit pa po sa mga numerong ito ay ang mga kwento ng ating mga kababayan, mga pamilyang nawalan ng tahanan, mga batang hindi makapasok sa paaralan, mga manggagawa, mga magsasaka, mga mangingisda na nawalan ng kabuhayan, at mga pamilyang nagdadalamhati sa pagkawala ng kanilang mahal sa buhay. Mr. President, Mindanao is a pillar of our national economy. Ito po ay mahalagang pinagmumulan ng pagkain, produktong agrikultura at yamang dagat. Kapag naapektuhan po ang Mindanao, nararamdaman po ito ng ating buong bansa. Initial assessments estimate at least 1.13 billion pesos in damage to public and private infrastructure. And that figure is expected to rise, Mr. President, as assessments continue. Nasira po ang mga tahanan, paaralan, ospital at iba pang mahalagang infrastruktura. Ngunit ang mas malaki pong hamon ay ang muling pagtatayo ng mga komunidad at pagbibigay ng bagong pag-asa sa ating mga kababayan. Kaya Ginoong Pangulo, sa pagkakataong ito, nais po nating makita, nais natin din pong kilalanin, lalo na ang ating mga rescue workers, health workers, uniformed personnel, volunteers, local officials at humanitarian organizations na wala pong sawang tumutulong sa mga nasalanta. Ngunit alam po natin, Ginoong Pangulo, alam natin na hindi po sapat ang bayanihan lamang. Heroism saves lives, but resources rebuild communities. Compassion comforts victims, but funding restores livelihoods. Kaya po kinakailangan nating tiyakin na ang lahat ng magagamit na pondo at suporta ng ating pamahalaan ay agad-agad na mapakilos upang mapabilis ang relief, rehabilitation, reconstruction at pagpapanumbalik ng kabuhayan sa mga apektadong lugar. Ginoong Pangulo, sa panahon po ng sakuna, nasusukat hindi lamang po ang tibay ng ating mga infrastruktura, kundi ang tibay ng ating pagkakaisa bilang isang bansa. Ngayon ang panahon upang patunayan na walang Pilipinong maiiwan. And for these reasons, Mr. President, I respectfully seek the support of our esteemed colleagues for the immediate passage, immediate adoption of this resolution. Marami pong salamat at pagpalain tayong lahat ng ating Panginoong Diyos.
Senator Erwin Tulfo is recognized, then Senator Kiko Pangilinan.
May we recognize as well Senator J.V. Ejercito to
And
sponsor.
Senator, we
and then
recognize,
after which, sorry.
yeah,
I
we
just-
recognize Senator JV first for his
Yes, I have the
co-sponsorship.
list. It's the Senator J.V. Ejercito, Mr. President. After that, Senator Kiko Pangilinan and Senator Erwin Tulfo. And Senator Raffy Tulfo after.
So we first recognize Senator JV Ejercito.
Thank you, Mr. President. Ginang Pangulo, mga kasamahan sa Senado at sa mga kababayan natin sa Mindanao, magandang umaga po. I rise today to co-sponsor proposed Senate Resolution number 447, a resolution urging the national government to take all necessary measures to ensure the availability of adequate funding and resources for the relief, rehabilitation, reconstruction, and recovery of communities affected by the recent devastating earthquake in Mindanao. Through the resolution, the Senate joins the nation in mourning and honoring the lives lost during the devastating earthquake that hit our brothers and sisters in Mindanao, particularly the province of Sarangani, South Cotabato, Davao Occidental, and Davao del Sur. 68 deaths were reported by the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council, while 33 remain missing according to the latest reports made by the NDRRMC last Tuesday. Mr. President, ang mga buhay pong ito ay hindi numero lamang. These are lives and futures that were abruptly cut short but merong pangarap at may mga mahal sa buhay na naiwan. Sila ay mga anak, asawa, kapatid, kaibigan at mga mahal nating mga kababayan. Nakapanlulumo po ang mga larawan at video na nakita natin online. Ano pa kaya ang aktwal na pakiramdam at sitwasyon na dinadanas ng ating mga kababayan? Bilang magulang, nakakatakot isipin na malagay sa kaparehong sitwasyon ang aking mga anak. Nakita natin ang mga mag-aaral at mga guro na napuno ng takot habang niyayanig ng lindol ang kanilang paaralan. Nakita natin ang ilan nating kababayan na wala nang magawa kung hindi tignan na lamang ang pagguho ng magusali at negosyo na kanilang pinagtrabahuhan at ipinundar. Bukod sa mga buhay na nasayang, maraming bahay ang nasira at maraming kabuhayan ang naapektuhan at nawala. Mr. President, this tragedy is a painful reminder that the country is so vulnerable to disasters and calamities and that we have so much work to do in terms of disaster preparedness. Lalo na nating nakita ang kahalagan ng matatag na infrastruktura at sistema ng pagpaplano sa pagsasaayos ng ating mga komunidad. Resilience should not just be expected from our constituents, but should mean that our infrastructure systems and responses can withstand the wrath of nature. Sa ilalim ng liderato ni Senate President Win Gatchalian, mabilis na nakapag-abot ng paunang tulong ang Senado sa mapaktadong komunidad. Subalit alam natin na hindi matatawaran ng kahit anong ayuda, donasyon o anumang halaga ang mga buhay na nawala at ang sakit ng trahedya na dinaranas ng mga naiwang pamilya. Kaya naman, nakikisa ko sa panawagan na sa pamamagitan ng Senate Resolution na ito ay tiyakin ng ating pamahalaan ang agaran at pangmatagalang suporta para sa rehabilitasyon at pagbangon ng Mindanao. Bigyan natin ng malalim na kahulugan ang mga nawalang buhay sa pamamagitan ng pagtiyak na ang naiwan ay muling makapagsisimula. Ginoong Pangulo, gagawin natin ang ating tungkulin dito sa Senado. Bilang inyong bagong halal na chairman ng Committee on Finance, titiyakin natin na mayroong nakalaang suporta upang maibalik ang kaayusan, seguridad at dignidad ng pamumuhay ng mga kapatid natin sa Mindanao na lubhang naapektuhan ng sakuna. Maraming pagsubok na ang dinaanan ng ating bansa, maraming bagyo, lindol at iba pang kalamidad. At pandemya ang sumubok sa tibay ng sambayanang Pilipino. Sa mga panahong mahirap para sa ating mga kababayan, ang pagbangon, ipakita natin na mayroon silang maasahan na gobyerno at mga namumuno. Lubos po tayo nakikiramay sa mga pamilyang nawalan at nakikisa tayo sa buong Mindanao sa panahong ito ng pagdadalamhati. Pagbangon Mindanao, maraming salamat po.
Maraming salamat, Senator JB. We recognize Senator Erwin Kiko Pangilinan.
Thank you,
Senate President Gatchalian, dear colleagues, I rise to co-sponsor Senator Joel Villanueva's Senate Resolution number 447. In times of calamity, the Senate must speak as one. I commend Senator Joel Villanueva for his quick thinking and swift leadership on this resolution, which reflects the Senate's shared duty to help Mindanao recover, rebuild, and prosper. Strategic national priority ang mabilis at tuloy-tuloy na pagbangon ng Mindanao mula sa lindol noong Hunyo 8. Bakit? Dahil nasa Mindanao ang humigit kumulang 1/3 na pinakamahihirap nating mga kababayan, habang 40% ng food supply ng ating buong bansa ay galing dito. Pinakamalawak na produkto ng nyug, pinakamalawak na coconut farm sa buong Pilipinas ay nasa Mindanao. 40%, 30% of the national food trade comes from Mindanao. Food basket ng Pilipinas ang Mindanao. It is also one of our most dynamic growth frontiers. Maraming mga tahanan, paaralan, ospital, kalsada, tulay, mga sistema ng kuryente at tubig at iba pang mahalagang infrastruktura ang nasira sa Davao Region at Soc-Sargen. Kung hindi ito agad-agad at sapat na matutugunan, mas lalaki ang pinsalang dulot sa agrikultura, pangingisda, logistics at mga lokal na negosyo. Tatagal ang paghihirap ng mga apektadong pamilya at malalagay rin sa alanganin ang pambansang seguridad sa pagkain at katatagan ng ating ekonomiya. Ang Senate Bill number 2259 ng inyong lingkod naglalaan ng 15 billion pesos in supplemental funding. Nilalayon nito na maibalik ang mahahalagang serbisyong pampubliko, maisaayos at mapatatag ang mga kritikal na pasilidad at maibangon ang kabuhayan ng ating mga magsasaka, mangingisda, manggagawa, maliliit na negosyo, lahat lubhang apektado ng lindol. Sa pagsuporta ng PS Resolution number 447 ni Senator Joel na nasa interes ng buong Pilipinas ang pagbangon ng Mindanao. Dahil pagprotekta ito sa ating sistema ng pagkain, pangangalaga sa mga trabaho at pagpapatatag at pagpapabagsak o baba ng presyo ng mga bilihin. Sa sama-sama nating pagkilos, bubuo tayo ng isang Mindanao na mas matatag, mas ligtas at mas handa gayon din ng buong bansa. Kaysa natin ang ating mga kababayan sa Mindanao at hindi natin iiwan ang mga kababayan natin dito. Maraming salamat. And again, maraming salamat kay Senator Joel for sponsoring this measure.
We recognize the gentleman from Palawan, Senator Erwin Tulfo.
Thank you, Mr. President. I rise today to express my full support and to formally manifest my co-sponsorship of the Senate Resolution number 447, which urges the government to take all necessary measures to assist the people of Mindanao following the recent earthquake that has caused significant damage to lives, homes, infrastructure, and livelihoods. In times of calamity, it is our duty as public servants to ensure that affected communities receive immediate, adequate assistance. The earthquake has brought hardship and uncertainty to many families, underscoring the need for a swift, coordinated, and comprehensive response from all concerned agencies. Through this resolution, we reaffirm our commitment to mobilizing relief efforts, providing emergency assistance, restoring essential services, and supporting the long-term recovery and rehabilitation affected areas. We also recognize the resilience of the people of Mindanao and stand in solidarity with them as they rebuild their communities. It is imperative that the national government, together with local government units and relevant stakeholders, work closely to address the urgent needs of those affected and to strengthen disaster preparedness and response mechanism to mitigate the impact of future calamities. Ginong Pangulo at mga kasamahan, ito po yung sinasabi ko noon pa at paulit-ulit ko na sinasabi. Isang tabi po natin ang ating mga personal or group interest. Alang-alang po sa mas nakakarami sa atin. We commend Senator Joel Villanueva for coming in today to file this resolution for the victims of the Mindanao quake. Thank you, Senator Joel Villanueva, for this resolution. For this reason, I wholeheartedly support and co-sponsor Senate Resolution number 447, Mr. President, and urge its immediate adoption.
Any more, Majority Leader? Any more, Senator Rafi? Yeah. While waiting for Senator Rafi, let me commend the resolution filed by Senator Joel Villanueva, PS Resolution 447. Ito po ay napapanahon dahil po yung naranasan ng Mindanao, particularly Sarangani and Jensan, ay isa sa pinakamalakas na lindol na naranasan po ng ating bansa. At marami pong infrastruktura na nasira doon. Nakita ho namin ni Senator Erwin, Senator JV at Senator Migs. At marami rin pong nasawi na buhay. At kami po ay nakikiramay at nakikiisa po sa mga kababayan ho natin sa Jensan, Sarangani at sa lahat pong ng lugar na tinamaan po ng lindol. At kaya po nagbibigay pugay ho kami kay Senator Joel dahil ito pong resolution ay nagdedirekta ng mabilis na action at mabilis po na pag-release ng pondo para po makatulong po sa mga kababayan natin sa Mindanao. With that, we recognize Senator Rafi Tulfo.
Mr. President, colleagues, I rise today to express my strong support for Senator Joel Villanueva, Senate Resolution 447 and 452 concerning the recent 7.8 earthquakes which struck Mindanao last June 8, 2026. Hindi basta numero ang mga biktima ng lindol o anumang kalamidad. Sila po ay mga pamilyang nawala ng mga mahal sa buhay, tahanan at kabuhayan. The people of Mindanao have shown remarkable resilience in the face of adversity. Ngunit hindi sapat ang katatagan lamang. Hindi natin maaaring iasa sa tibay ng loob ng ating mga kababayan ang kanilang pagbangon. Kailangan nila ang agarang tulong at buong suporta ng pamahalaan upang muling maitayo ang kanilang mga buhay at komunidad. These resolutions recognize the urgent need to assess the full extent of the damage, ensure the relief and rehabilitation efforts are delivered efficiently, and identify measures that will strengthen the preparedness of our community against future disasters. Kasabay po nito, kinikilala natin rin ang kabayanihan ng ating mga rescue workers, medical teams at frontliners na nagbuwis ng oras at lakas upang pangunahan ang ating recovery efforts. For these reasons, I express my support, again, for Senate Resolution 447 and 452 and urge my colleagues to continue working together to ensure that the affected communities receive the assistance, rehabilitation, and protection that they deserve. May we continue to pray for their, Mr. President.
Thank you. Thank you very much for the co-sponsorship speech. Majority Leader, any more
Thank you very much, Mr.
co-sponsorship?
President. With that, no other members wish to sponsor the measure. I move that all members present be made co-sponsors, Mr. President.
Is there any objection? Hearing none, motion is approved and all senators are made co-sponsors of this bill.
Yes, Mr. President. Those are present today. Mr. President, I move that we adopt proposed Senate Resolution number 447. I so move, Mr.
Is
President.
there any objection? Hearing none, proposed resolution 447 is hereby adopted, subject to style.
Thank you, Mr. President. And we would like to thank Senator Joel Villanueva for filing this measure. Kami po sa Mindanao ay nagpapasalamat po sa kanya sa malasakit po niya sa amin sa Mindanao. Maraming po salamat kay Senator Joel. With that, Mr. President, I move to also take up proposed Senate Resolution number 452 and ask the Secretary to read the title of the measure.
Resolution expressing the profound gratitude of the Senate of the Philippines to the rescue workers, social welfare and healthcare personnel, local government units, uniformed services, civil volunteer groups, and all humanitarian responders for providing swift life-saving assistance to affected communities in the aftermath of the magnitude 7.8 earthquake that struck Mindanao.
Health workers. Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, you are the sponsor
Yes,
of the measure,
Mr.
Mr. President. Do you wish to
Yes, Mr.
sponsor,
President,
or-
I will just, Majority Leader, I will just insert my sponsorship speech for this resolution. Pero ito po ay simpleng pasasalamat sa ating mga frontliners, sa DSWD, in particular the Armed Forces of the Philippines who provided logistical support sa mga sinalanta po ng lindol. Kaya po ito ay isang pasasalamat sa lahat po ng frontliners natin. Kasama na rin po yung LGU
LGUs.
na talagang kaagad rumisponde sa pinsala ng lindol.
Thank you, Mr. President. Pero meron lang po tayong mga kasamahan. Mr. President, with your permission and permission of the body, would like to give short sponsorship speeches.
Yes.
May we recognize Senator J.V. Ejercito? He'll also insert to the records his sponsorship speech. And we'd like to recognize Senator Erwin Tulfo.
We recognize Senator Erwin Tulfo for his co-sponsorship speech.
Mr. President, colleagues, I rise today to manifest my support and co-sponsorship on Senate Resolution number 452, expressing the profound gratitude of the Senate to rescue workers, social welfare, healthcare personnel, local government units, uniformed services, civil volunteer groups, at sa lahat po ng humanitarian responders sa government yung iba po galing sa mga mining corporations na nagpadala po ng kanilang workers para tumulong po sa paghahanap sa mga natabunan ng mga gumuhong gusali. Therefore, Mr. President, this resolution would like to express my support to thank all those involved, including the local government units who were there at the very first instance, the first responders to go around to check their constituents. Maraming salamat po sa inyo. Thank you, Mr. President.
Yeah, muli, nagpapasalamat ho kami sa ngalan po ng Senado. Nagpapasalamat ho kami sa ating mga rescue workers, social welfare and healthcare personnel, local government units, uniform services, kasama na po ang Armed Forces of the Philippines, civil volunteer groups, and all humanitarian responders. Maraming salamat po.
Yes, maraming salamat po, Mr. President. Some, of course, special mention po yung Red Cross, Philippine
Yes,
Red Cross, kung
of
saan po
course.
tayo ay membro bilang governors, Board of Governors of the Philippine Red
Na
Cross.
pinangungunahan po ni
And,
Chairman Dick Gordon.
Chairman Dick Gordon for his speedy action, always ready, always there, always first, always ready, always there, na Red Cross, headed by Senator Dick Gordon. We'd like to thank them. So with that, Mr. President, I move that we adopt proposed Senate Resolution number 452. I so move, Mr.
Is there any objection? Hearing none, proposed resolution 452 is hereby adopted, subject to style.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Mr. President, we have a few bills that we can take up on the floor. Maybe we can just take this up already. We have to show our kababayans that we are working. We are going to pass several measures today. Mr. President, I move that we resume consideration on Senate Bill number 1990 under Committee Report number 52. I so move, Mr. President. This is for a period of, it's in the period of amendments, this measure.
Is there any objection? Hearing none, the motion is approved.
The measure is sponsored by our chairman, the Committee on Agriculture, Senator Francis Kiko Pangilinan. This is an act ensuring the development and promotion and protection of agricultural and fisheries cooperatives. Magandang panukala po ito, Mr. President. I move that we recognize the sponsor and we'll also recognize Senator
I will introduce his.
He already gave the amendment?
Yes.
So the amendments of Senator Joel are already with Senator Pangilinan. May we recognize the good sponsor, Mr. President?
We recognize the gentleman from Pampanga, Senator Kiko Pangilinan.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Majority Leader. Mr. President, as earlier manifested, we are in the period of amendments. Only Senator Joel Villanueva has introduced amendments, and therefore we can proceed on section page 9. Between lines 9 and 10, we insert the following proviso. Provided that the continued enjoyment of tax and fiscal incentives shall be subject to compliance with the assessment and rating system established under Section 21 of this Act, including standards on governance, financial transparency, member benefit distribution, and actual productive agriculture activity. So move, Mr. President.
Is there any objection? Hearing none, amendment is carried.
Thank you, Mr. President. Another amendment of Senator Villanueva is Section 14, creation of the Bureau of Agriculture Cooperatives. On page 11, lines 22 and 23, delete the proviso and replace it with the following. Provided that the department shall, in coordination with the CDA and concerned local government units and subject to budgetary availability and applicable laws, establish a needs-based staffing framework for cooperative development officers based on agriculture population, geographic need, cooperative density, and other relevant development indicators, with priority given to the underserved and strategically significant agriculture areas. And therefore, the second paragraph of Section 14 will now read, it shall be a line bureau and headed by a bureau director. Its organizational and staffing pattern shall be determined by the department in consultation with the Department of Budget and Management, provided that the department shall, in coordination with the CDA and concerned local government units and subject to budgetary availability and applicable laws, establish a needs-based staffing framework for co-op development officers based on agri population, geographic needs, cooperative density, and other relevant development indicators with priority given to underserved and strategically significant agriculture areas. I so move, Mr.
Is
President.
there any objection? Hearing none, amendment is approved.
Thank you, Mr. President. We proceed to Section 15, Powers and Functions of the Bureau of Agriculture Co-ops. On page 12, between line 19 and 20, insert a new paragraph to read, the Bureau shall exercise its powers and functions in a manner complementary to and not duplicative of the powers and functions of the CDA under applicable laws. So move, Mr. President.
Is there any objection? Hearing none, amendment is approved.
Mr. President, Section 30, implementing rules and regulations, the amendment will be on page 17, deletes line 9 to 12 and replace them with the following. Section 30, implementing rules and regulations. The rules and regulations necessary for the effective and efficient enforcement of the provisions of this Act shall be formulated by the Department and the CDA in coordination with the relevant government agencies and in consultation with the LGUs, agriculture cooperatives, farmers and fisher folk organizations, and other stakeholders, and shall be implemented within 90 days from the effectivity of this Act. Unjustified or willful failure or refusal of the concerned government agencies to promulgate the implementing rules and regulations, IRR, within the specified period shall subject the heads of these government agencies to administrative penalties under applicable civil service laws. And third paragraph, should the IRR contain provisions that are contrary to this Act, the heads of government agencies responsible for such provision, when done in bad faith or with gross negligence, shall be held administratively liable. So move, Mr. President.
Is there any objection? Hearing none, amendment is approved.
And finally, Mr. President, Section 32, Annual Reports. The amendment is on page 17 between lines 23 and 24 to insert a new paragraph to read, to promote transparency and accountability, the Bureau shall maintain and regularly update a publicly accessible digital registry containing relevant information on accredited agriculture cooperatives, including their ratings, incentives and benefits received, procurement awards, grants, and compliance status subject to applicable data privacy laws. So move, Mr. President.
Is there any objection? Hearing none, amendment is approved.
Thank you, Mr. President. There are no other proposed amendments for Senate Bill 1990. With the permission of our majority leader, if we can move to terminate the period of amendments.
Yes, Mr. President. Mr. President, there being no other members who wish to amend the measure further, I move that we close the period of amendments. I so move, Mr. President.
Is there any objection? Hearing none, period of amendments is hereby closed.
Mr. President, with that, I move to approve on second reading Senate Bill number 1990 and the committee report number 452.
Is there any objection? Hearing none, Senate Bill number 1990 is hereby approved on second reading.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Move to suspend consideration of the measure.
Consideration is hereby suspended.
Mr. President, we are in receipt of a bicameral conference committee report on the disagreeing provisions of Senate Bill number 1894 and House Bill number 8476, or the amendments to the Universal Access to Quality Tertiary Education Act, which has been filed with the Bills and Index last June 3, 2026, and was ratified by the House of Representatives on the same date. Mr. President, I move that we approve and ratify 94 and House Bill number 8476, and the text of the joint explanation be deemed read into the records of the chamber. I so move.
Is there any objection? Hearing none, the motion is approved. The conference committee report is approved and ratified.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. And Mr. President, yes, Mr. President. May we recognize our distinguished colleague, Senator Joel Villanueva.
We recognize the
for
gentleman
his,
from Bulacan,
manifestation.
Senator Joel Villanueva.
Yeah, Mr. President, just to give a very short manifestation on the ratification of the BICAM report on enhancing universal access to quality tertiary education. Mr. President, dear colleagues, it is with great privilege that we rise today to express our strong support for the ratification of the Bicameral Conference Committee report on the disagreeing provisions of Senate Bill number 1894 and House Bill number 8476, otherwise known as the Act Enhancing the Universal Access to Quality Tertiary Education. We again extend our warmest gratitude to our fellow conferees in the Senate and our counterparts in the House of Representatives, especially Chairperson Lauren Legarda, as one of the co-authors one of the authors and co-sponsors of this particular measure. Mr. President, we welcome the improvements introduced to this legislation and remain hopeful that these amendments will further strengthen RA number 10931, or the Universal Access to Quality Tertiary Education Act. More importantly, we trust that these reforms will remain faithful to the original spirit and intent of the law, a landmark measure that we, together with some of our colleagues here, including our Senate President, envisioned during its passage to make higher education more accessible to every deserving Filipino learner, especially those who face the greatest economic barriers. This measure responds directly, Mr. President, to that challenge by granting prioritization of eligibility to the tertiary education subsidy for enrolled students from the 4Ps or Pantawid Pamilyang Pilipino program households in recognized higher education institutions and technical vocational institutions. We are helping, Mr. President, ensure that financial hardship does not stand in the way of educational opportunity. So ultimately, Mr. President, this measure advances our collective goal of building a more equitable and inclusive education system. It strengthens the country's commitment to supporting learners not only in gaining access to tertiary education, but also, again, Mr. President, for these reasons, we wholeheartedly support the ratification of this BICAM report. Maraming salamat, Ginoong Pangulo. At,
Thank you, Senator Joel Villanueva.
Thank you very much, sir, Deputy Majority Floor Leader. Thank you, sir. With that, I move to consider Senate Bill number 1991 and the committee report number 53. I so move, Mr.
Is
President.
there objection? Hearing none, the motion is approved.
This is an act strengthening the National Agriculture and Fisheries Extension System to accelerate agriculture and fisheries development, Mr. President. The sponsor of this measure is Senator Kiko Pangilinan, and may we recognize the sponsor and to amend Senator Joel Villanueva.
Yeah, we recognize the sponsor, Senator Kiko Pangilinan, and Senator Joel for his amendments.
Thank you, Mr. President. If I may, Mr. President, with the permission of our chairperson, on page 5, this representation would like to propose that we delete lines 24 and 25 and replace them with the following. The roadmap shall contain, among others, measurable performance indicators, annual implementation targets, monitoring and evaluation mechanisms, periodic review provisions, and annual projected budgetary requirements, including the establishment of the local development hub. The rationale, Mr. President, is that this proposal proposed amendment strengthens the second paragraph of Section 6 by expanding the required contents of the roadmap to promote accountability, guide implementation, and ensure measurable outcomes in the delivery of agricultural and fisheries extension programs. I submit to the wisdom of our chairperson. Your
What
Honor.
does the sponsor say?
Accepted, Mr.
you.
President.
Is there any objection? Hearing none, amendment is approved.
Thank you, Mr. President. On page 6, line 9, after the word act and before the period, insert the following. And other applicable laws and without diminution of vested rights, benefits, and security of tenure of affected personnel. So the paragraph, Mr. President, will now read as follows. The Secretary is also authorized to reorganize the department's internal offices to determine if existing ones, in the interest of economy and efficiency, need to be integrated into the establishment of the BAX, subject to the provisions of Republic Act number 12231 or the Government Optimization Act and other applicable laws, and without diminution of vested rights, benefits, and security of acceptable to our
What
dear
does the
colleagues.
sponsor say?
Wholeheartedly accepted, Mr. President.